Hi, I'm Don Lynch.
And I'm Phyllis St. Laurent.
Right now, we're going to show you and talk to you about what we call the Symmetry Key. Phyllis is the head of the online instructions about how to do things, and she runs the classes. And so we're going to kind of throw it back and forth, and I'm going to try to cover the technical aspects of it while she actually explains it. Okay, so here we go. Now, the background story is this. So here I am. I'm at a conference on what you call subtle energies, and it's composed of scientists, researchers of all sorts that are involved in frequencies below 100 hertz and above 5 or 6 hertz. Okay, so those are called subtle frequencies, and that was the range of the body operates between 5 and 30 hertz, 28 hertz. Okay. And I was there trying to understand what I was doing, because I was removing stuff out of people, and I was researching about how am I doing this, because I don't know what I'm doing. And so in this conference, a friend of mine was giving a speech about what you call toroidal fields, and this speech was included graphics. And as he presented a graphic, I felt a switch go off in my head, and I kind of like blacked out. And I'm sitting there, and suddenly beside me appeared a cylinder here, and which I didn't recognize. I'd never seen anything like this before, and it was activated. It was literally activated in this vision, and I'm sitting amongst this audience in this big auditorium, and this is happening to me. And when I saw this vision, a voice came to me and said, "You can speed it up." Okay. And I didn't know what this meant or anything. And so he finished his speech, and I'm confused about what happened. And then I went outside, and I had an experience outside with a vision again outside. And so the net result is that I came up with this thing that we're calling the Symmetry Key. Okay. And Phyllis is going to give the basic explanation of it.
Hi again. So basically, picture a column. So this is just a column, and we have energy, as Don talked about, energy inside it. And so we've learned maybe in the past here about torsion and spin going, say, to the left and to the right, and then both of them going together. So in that column, there was this energy movement, and it's happening. Then and that's all that's going there. And then Don took it to the next step and added the additional pieces.
Okay, so to try to explain this, I refer to like basic science stuff, and one of the things the core of this is that if you have a spinning steel wheel here on an axle, then this will act like a gyroscope, and it'll go like this, and as you speed this up, it'll like move around, and you cannot control it. But if you take that same axle and you put another equal but opposite wheel on the other end of that axle, it stabilizes it. It's just like a gyroscope now, so you can turn it and it stays stable. Okay. Now, what's happened there is that in this axis, okay, here, now you've created another axis, because this is stable. You have another axis here. So if you would take that pair of spinning wheels that you have spinning equal but opposite, okay, and you take that and duplicate it, put another one above it, okay, and another one below it, okay, then you're actually going up this axis here, and then you rotate those all equal but opposite, and you've created a stable rotational zone right here. Okay. Now, Phyllis is going to elaborate.
Okay, so what the structure he just explained about has One level is spinning one way and the other set of wheels spinning that way, and then the top level is spinning the same as the bottom. And because they're all spinning at different times, we're now getting all of this kind of action. And as it's sped up inside that column, it's going to come up and over and wrap around the column. And when it does that, what it's created is something called the flower of life. Would you like to explain a little more of that?
Well, so when you have these units spinning, okay, in different directions and creating balance here, energetically on the outside of this, it creates like a loop. It's like a spiral from top to bottom and then bottom to top, equal but opposite. So you have these cords of energy wrapping around that. And if you step back and look at it, it looks like the flower of life, because it is the flower of life. That is the flower of life. And it's actually wrapped energetically around this cylinder.
And spinning.
And moving. And so you can change the diameter of the cords and the force and frequency in the cords, and that affects the cylinder. And then Phyllis will enhance that.
Okay, so now we've got a column. Inside the column, we've got the spinning, the torsion going, and on the outside, we've got the flower of life. And now we're going to add one more step, and it's called the sine wave. And Don?
Okay, the sine wave, look at it this way. What we want to do is actually put a sine wave in the middle of that thing, all right? So a sine wave consists of amplitude and frequency, and we're using a natural sine wave, okay? Now, if you picture a natural sine wave, and you can create different amplitudes and frequency, and so try moving the frequencies and the amplitudes, change it. They're both independent of each other. They're not locked in. And so as you change those, you can change the energy within that sine wave. All right? So now we're going to take that sine wave and we're going to put it inside that cylinder, or as Phyllis says it, inside that cylinder. And it's going to go like this, okay? Now, we take that sine wave and we change it, okay, till we feel like it's where it wants to be, related to that person or you or whoever you're working on. It will react to that body. So you're doing that. Now, as you have that going, what you want to do is put torsion into it. So you're going to spin that sine wave. So it's like a loop. It creates like a loop type effect. But so what happens is naturally it creates an equal but opposite sine wave. The faster you spin that, the more force you behind that spinning, it will pop up another equal but opposite sine wave directly opposite. Now, if you step back and look at it, those two equal but opposites, suddenly they connect to each other like that. And guess what? Suddenly you have DNA. That is DNA. So if we take that and we take that unit of DNA, that spiral, that helix of DNA, and we spin it like this, and we have that inside that stabilized symmetry key, that's where the magic and fun begins. So you can tune that, the amplitude and frequency of that helix, of that DNA, and it'll react in the body. And that's where where your ability to actually release points of resistance in the body or in energetic entities, okay? That is where this comes in, and then you adapt the body, you adapt the sine wave and the symmetry key to each individual point that you're working on. Now, she's going to explain it better than me.
So that sounded like way too much and knowledge and difficulty, but it's not. What we do in our courses and our workshops is we teach people to be able to move that energy, to feel it in your body. And so just imagine what he said is basically we've got a column And we had some energy going on inside it. And then we added the wheels and the different levels, and they're spinning on the outside as they wrap around the outside and create that flower of life. From there, we take the sine wave and we bring it down in through the column. And so we will learn how to do, fast, higher frequencies, bigger amplitude, that kind of thing, depending on the situation. But now, as it spins, it actually has the opposite reaction. Now you've got a duplication and it connects, and now you've got that double helix that's twisting and turning inside there. So that's a DNA strand. You can even add another one of those if you so wish. Now we have this whole piece of equipment, energetic equipment, and we can take that and we can use it and work on an area in our body. So for example, we can take that and run that through, say, our liver for having issues, or maybe our, somewhere in our digestive system. And we can use it to help take all that energy and move the resistance that's being held there that's making us unhealthy. This is not the beginner level of the techniques that Don has developed. So, but just to know that it's possible is the key here. So, Don, back to you.
Well, the thing here is that once you train your brain to manipulate, control this type of thing, that the possibilities are endless for treating things. I mean, things that might appear to be untreatable with modern medicine. I mean, this thing in particular is actually, this is ancient technology. This is not new stuff. This is old stuff that's already out there and available to us. This is something that can take us to the next level as far as healing ourselves and healing others. And you can treat things that appear to be untreatable. Sorry. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for your attention. I'm Don Lynch.
And I'm Phyllis St. Lawrence.